Welcome back to Half the Battle. I'm your host, as always, Daniel Levi, your co-host, Shaq. We're going to be recapping UFC 225, and Shaq, Robert Whittaker and Yoel Romero just put on the fight of the year. What an unbelievable matchup. We'll talk about the decision in a sec, but holy shit, those two warriors put it all on the line, and I was thoroughly entertained for all 25 minutes.
Yeah, arguably fight of the year. Yoel Romero is a legend. Rob's a legend. It was a great fight. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw a trilogy down the line because we know every time those two fight, it's just going to be fireworks, but hats off to both guys. It could have went either way, but, congratulations to Rob, and he for now, at least, he gets to put that behind him.
Yeah, Shaq, if it were up to me, they'd fight every single weekend, but that's why I'm a handicapper and not a matchmaker. But, man, the intensity of that fight, because, a lot of people thought, well, the first time they went the 5-round distance, this time it's going to end inside the distance. And, dude, they had an even more intense war the second time than they did the first.
Yeah, man, it was a great back-and-forth war. Rob was building up a lead on the points, but Yoel would come back and just land devastating shots, even with his eye closed. So, props to both men.
Now, we got to talk about how you scored the fight. Who'd you think won that fight?
I thought Rob won 3-2. I didn't think there were any 10-8 rounds. I thought, Rob would just do something to make it not a 10-8 round, and I thought he won 3-2. I thought, but going into the cards, I was thinking, Yoel, they were probably going to score for Yoel. I thought it could have went either way, It was one of those things where, the winner wins, and
I actually had it the opposite way, man. I had it for Yoel, and not because I picked you out. No, I legitimately had it for him. He's dropping Rob all over the place that 4th and 5th round. I was like,
yeah,
dude,
two rounds.
He's about, one of those should have been 10-8. So,
so a draw.
First 2 rounds go to Rob. 3rd round's up in question. I thought the 3rd round Yoel edged, but the 4th and 5th for sure went to Yoel. One of those could have been a 10-8. So I thought Yoel was about to get his arm raised. But look, bottom line, I wouldn't mind seeing these guys fight each other 3 more times because, like we said, the theme of the last show was this is the number 1 versus number 2 guy on planet Earth. You don't often see that, and we saw that again for a reason why they are the number 1 and number 2. I want to see that fight again.
Yeah, 100%. I wouldn't be shocked, but my boy Yoel probably can't make that 185 limit anymore, so he's probably going to go up to 205, fight my boy Gustafsson. So, Yoel and Gustafsson. And
Gustafsson can take another split decision loss in a 5-round main event. You know what I'm saying, Shaq?
For the interim title, you know what I'm saying? Now 205's got a new contender, so Yoel versus Gustafsson.
Yeah, I just hope that before both their careers are said and done, that Rob and Yoel can throw down one more time inside that UFC's octagon, even if it's at a 190-pound catchweight, just because I love seeing high-level mixed martial arts. It doesn't get any better than that. Those two put it all on the line, and those are the kind of fights that it's going to elevate a champion like Robert Whittaker's career, because I guarantee you the 27-year-old Whittaker isn't going to have a fight that tough anytime soon.
I don't know. A lot of people think otherwise. They think his toughest fight is coming up here soon. So.
Oh, yeah. No, I see people talking about, well, if Yoel could do this, and therefore Kelvin, it's like, guys, you don't understand what you were watching. Like, Yoel Romero is a different animal. Don't get me wrong, Kelvin's the man. I can't wait to see him get his title shot. But if you think that's any indication that Rob's going to go down, you might be very, very surprised. I can't wait to see that fight happen.
Yeah, so, Kelvin and Rob's probably next, probably in Australia or, somewhere. So, Kelvin's finally going to get his title shot. A lot of people have said he's going to be a champion from day one. So, he'll finally have his opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously we're going to talk about Colby and RDA. There's a lot of things I got to say. There's a lot of media members that need to call out that scored that fight for RDA, which is absolutely disgusting because Colby clearly won that fight. We'll talk about that in a sec, but real quick, max bet season once again. It's getting repetitive now, Shaq. I mean, how many of these max bets do we have to win before these guys realize that we're the real deal in this business and there's no close second?
Yeah, I think, I'm pretty much done, stressing it out. I mean, it's just facts now. I mean, it's just the facts. When I say it's max bet season, it's pretty much a guarantee. It's almost as guarantee as Sarah McMahon quitting in the 2nd round. You know what I'm saying? It's as guarantee as that, Rockhold has no chin. Or
it's as guaranteed as Colin Curran never winning a UFC fight,
Exactly, you know what I'm saying? It's as guaranteed as people thinking, Randy Brown was a close fight with Mickey Gall. You know what I'm saying? So I just think... I'm not going to stress out about it anymore. Max bet season's definitely going down in UFC Singapore. You know what I'm saying? So
I'll tell you that right now.
And, you know what I'm saying? And sign up today, man. Stop playing games. Stop hesitating. Stop asking yourself questions, man. This is the best decision you're going to make in your life.
Yeah, and we're changing bankrolls one bet at a time, and let's just look at the stats real quick. Last 4 UFC events, I'm up 15 units. I mean, if we combine me and you, we're probably up over 30 units, but just myself, I'm up 15 units the last 4 UFC events, 4 clean sweeps the last 4 UFC events, and in those 4 clean sweeps, 5 max bets have won as well. So, also won 9 of the last 11 events for 28.5 units. Shaq and I are 9-0 on consensus max bets in 2018. Guys, anyone can game their record, but no one can game their bankroll. So if you want to make your bankroll great again, you do it with Best Fight Picks. And real quick, message to all our clients. Let people know on Twitter and YouTube what we're doing for your bankrolls. Let them know. Go on Twitter, tag us, tag me and Shaq at Best Fight Picks, at MMA Genius 05. Go on our YouTube page, comment. Let everyone know what we're doing for your bankrolls, and that we really do come through at bestfightpicks.com. We really do come through at maxbetseason.com. And for those that are interested in buying in a 1-month event package, we're currently running a promotion, and that's if you buy the 1-month event package before Singapore, meaning you can buy it today or you can buy it the day before Singapore. But if you buy it today, there's a chance you might get some Dana White Tuesday Night Contender plays in there if we have any. But this is the guarantee I'm going to make you. If you buy the 1-month VIP package before UFC Singapore, not only are you going to get 4 events, Shaq, you're going to get 5 events. You're going to get UFC Singapore, you're going to get the Tough Finale, you're going to get UFC 226, you're going to get UFC Boise, which, by the way, Shaq, is going to be one of the biggest events in Best Fight Picks history. Can't wait to tell them what we're doing with that one. And you're going to get UFC Hamburg. That's 5 events for the month package. So go to bestfightpicks.com. And real quick, if you're not interested in that 1-month package, you already realize we are the real deal. We are the best in the biz. There's no close second. You want to sign up for the full year? How about 20% off? Just use the promo code 20OFF for a 1-year VIP package, and we'll get you right, and we'll take care of biz. Now, Shaq, let's talk about this max bet winner on Mirsad Bektic. You know, it's funny because our last 2 max bet winners, we faded the hometown guy in their hometown. You know, you remember Brad Scott was in England. Ricardo Lamas was in Chicago. Faded them both. And one judge tried to fuck us, and it still wasn't enough to fade max bet season. Max bet season is so strong that even the hometown judges can't get it wrong for us. So Mirsad Bektic, with a clear 30-27, got the job done against the perennial top 5 Ricardo Lamas.
Yeah, you know, Mirsad Bektic went out there and did exactly what we thought he would. I thought it was going to be a knockout, to be honest. But, you know, sometimes that's why max bet season, you know, a fallback plan has to be in place. We had to be able to win it on points as well. And we know that Mirsad's weasel skills is on point. We know his wrestling is top-notch in the featherweight division. And, you know, he outboxed Lamas as well. It was honestly 30-27. But, you know, Ricardo's a tough guy. And he showed why, I guess, you know, he's been top 15 his whole career, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Lamas, but Mirsad got the job done. And like we said, Mirsad's got one of the highest ceilings at featherweight. You
know, it's funny because going into the fight, we didn't even think we were going to be able to play Mirsad. We were thinking, yeah, it's going to open minus 305. It's going to open minus 350. Opens minus 175, and you know what happens when max bet season takes over. That minus 175 soon became a minus 250, and rightfully so. Still in a max bet range, but we're moving lines over here and cashing bets.
I mean, even guys that are coming in late, you know, when that line was already minus 240, and, you know, I still tell them play that minus 240, you know what I'm saying? It should have been minus 300, but, you know.
Outright winner once again.
Outright winner, you know what I'm saying? So.
And, you know, I got a lot of questions asking, like, you know, am I betting enough to make a profit with your service? Guys, not only are we dealing with the whales that are betting multi-thousands, we're also dealing with the small bettors and letting them know exactly how much to bet. We're doing the real sports consulting for those guys, and it's personal consulting, and even our small bettors are super happy with the service, Shaq.
I mean, we're having guys, literally, I'm building them up from the ground up. I mean, they're coming with me. They're saying, you know, I got this much, and I'm telling them each fight, put this much on this, put this much on this, and they've made, I mean, since, for example, I got one guy out there, and I forget what state he lives in, but I mean, he came in on Jack Hermanson with about $400, and now look where he is. You know, I won't say the exact amounts he was betting, but I mean, just put it this way, he's very happy with the service, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then we got the guys like, shout out to my boy in Hawaii who threw down $5K on Mirsad Bektic, and, you know, calls me right after. He wants to fly Shaq and I out to Hawaii for a Hawaiian barbecue. That's what we're on these days, man. So if you want to join, maxbetseason.com.
And then the well clients are very happy as well. You know, our well client down the street, I mean, he's, putting big money on these fights, and he's got the utmost faith in us because we get the job done. We're men of our words. Whenever we ever, came out here, even with the bad start, look what we've done now. You know what I'm saying? So just relax.
Yeah, real champions overcome adversity. When we talk about that whale client that lives down the street, when we're sitting in his personal movie theater, it's just me, you, and him. People don't understand the stress that, you got to come through. First impressions last a lifetime, and we've been coming through. So, once again, guys, you get that 1 month package. You get the next 5 UFC events, plus any Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series fights or picks that we might have in that time period. You want 1 year, use the code 20OFF for 20% off. Now, Shaq, let's talk about Colby Covington versus Rafael dos Anjos. And real quick, how'd you score that fight?
I had it 4-1 for my boy Chaos Covington out of the 5-4-1. And, I thought RDA fought well, but, the pace was just too much for Colby, man. I mean, for RDA. Colby pushes a relentless D1 pace, and, like we were saying, I felt like his cardio was second to none, man. The guy just is nonstop work. His work rate is through this roof, and, people want to talk about his striking, but I just saw him beat RDA on the feet, you know what I'm saying? Because he's always working. And when you got that threat of the takedown, I mean, you can go a long way in this sport. So Colby did his thing. He backed up the talk. Not only did he talk the talk, but he walked the walk. This is going to set up, one of the biggest fights in welterweight history between him and T. Wood. Unfortunately, it's going down a path I really don't like in terms of what people think it is. But, I think these are the 2 best guys in the welterweight division. And, I think whoever wins is going to be great. And, Colby's trying to make the welterweight division great again, and T. Wood's trying to prove that he's the greatest welterweight of all time. So I think this is exactly what the welterweight division needs.
Colby Covington's making the welterweight division great again, and we're making your bankroll great again. And Colby Covington clearly won that fight, at least 4-1, 3-2 if you want to be nice. But, if you score that fight for RDA, you should not be watching this sport. And I'm going on MMADecisions.com. I see a couple people score that for RDA, and they're from real websites. Phil Murphy from ESPN scored that 48-47 Dos Anjos. ESPN, are you kidding me? Jed Meshew, what the fuck is wrong with you? From MMA Fighting? He scored this shit for Dos Anjos as well. You got another guy from MMA Fighting, MMA Mania. Let me talk about MMA Mania for a sec, because I remember earlier in the week they were like, we're not going to be covering Colby Covington. Oh, you guys are going to cover CM Punk instead, you biased fucks. And you scored that fight for Dos Anjos. Absolutely disgusting.
Take your dislike out for the guy.
What about Nathan McCarter from BleacherReport.com? You scored that for Dos Anjos at all? What the fuck are you watching, man? So even the jobbers at Wrestling Observer, who never score a fight, right? Even they know that Covington won that fight. So, man, I'm absolutely appalled that some people literally thought RDA won that, because, look, just watch the first 3 rounds. Don't even watch the 4th and 5th. Just watch the 3 rounds. That's clearly Colby's rounds. I thought RDA might have got the 4th because he did get on top in that, and then Colby came out and won the 5th. That's a 49-46. There's no argument for RDA winning that fight, Shaq, and I'm a fan. This isn't me being like, oh, I hate Colby, I hate RDA. No, I like them both, man. I'm a fan of this sport. I could care less. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't have a bet on this fight. I just know what I'm watching, and Colby dominated Rafael dos Anjos. 4 rounds to 1, my man.
That's just the facts. Like we said, he talked the talk and he walked the walk. So Colby's the man as far as I'm concerned. I mean, he actually won that battle with Brazil. I felt like a lot of people were just under the assumption that Brazil was going to end up having the last laugh, and Colby officially won that war with Brazil. I don't think he's ever going to fight another Brazilian in the near future, probably ever.
Unless my boy Worley makes that climb.
Which, I don't see happening. The only other Brazilian we really got left is Zaleski, and, he's unranked. So unless he makes the climb all the way up, I think Colby's days fighting Brazilians are pretty much over.
So now Colby versus T. Wood. Obviously, we'll break down that fight when the time comes, but, on first glance, man, what do you think about that matchup?
It's going to be interesting because we know T. Wood throws nuclear bombs, but he does like to, back into the fence, and we know Colby can rack up points. Colby does not stop working for the entire duration of the fight. So if it's pretty clearly that it's going to come down to if Colby can outpoint him and not get caught.
Yeah, it really does come down to not getting caught, because T. Wood's output is so low.
But it's just when he
does connect, guys reach for the heavens. So you know what I'm saying. Colby better be careful because this is the hardest hitter he's ever fought. Now Holly Holm beat Megan Anderson. You know, props to everyone that was super confident on Holly Holm. You know, I'll never be confident on Holly Holm. Now she's one fight above 500 in her UFC run. It turns out Megan Anderson was a complete fraud. So we'll look to fade. When it's time to fade Holly Holm, I'll let you guys know.
You know, I'm just saying. You know, shout out to Ali. I didn't think she was going to dominate anything. You know, I guess Megan was a little too green, but I still think my thoughts are accurate. And
that's all you got to say.
We can do Holly and Ketlin at 135. I mean, whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah, get my girl Ketlin one more win before that title shot. You know what I'm saying? Let her get a win over a former champion.
Go follow my girl Ketlin Vieira on Instagram right now. She's not very happy with the things that are going on in the division.
Yeah, look, Ketlin, just go get Holly Holm back to that 500 UFC record. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I want to see next. Now, Tuivasa versus Arlovski. You know, a lot of people were surprised he didn't knock Arlovski out, but I want to say something about that. For a young fighter who had only been in there with a French guy, had only been in there with Rashad Coulter, for him, you know, we didn't know, if he can't knock you out in the first round, what happens? I'll tell you what happens. He can go out there and win a unanimous decision. That was a very important sign for a young heavyweight, especially the way Arlovski's been looking in his current form. Starting with that Tibura fight, you know, the Junior Albini fight, the Stefan Struve fight, Arlovski, and these guys been asking for autographs in the center of that cage. Tuivasa only asked for an autograph after the fight was over, man. So props to him for getting it done.
Ty's no slouch because a lot of young guys in this spot, they probably would have folded after that first round. You know what I'm saying? They would have probably shut down. But my boy Ty came back composed in the second and third round and did what he had to do. That shows the signs that Ty is the real deal and he's going to have a great career.
Absolutely, man. And who you want to see him in there with next? Because he just beat a top 15 guy.
He just beat Arlovski. Man, that's a good question. You know what I'm saying? Who's available?
Yeah, there's I mean, what about is my boy Tibura fighting Struve still?
Yeah.
What about the winner of Tibura and Struve?
You know, those guys suck, but
so what?
What about the winner of JDS and Blagoy?
Oh, you want to put him in there with JDS and Blagoy? Yeah. Damn. If Blagoy takes care of biz, I mean, either way, JDS and Tuivasa, that's a scrap right there. Someone
will go to sleep.
Someone will be taking a canvas nap in that one. So the first fight of the main card, you know, the first AMI fight of the pay-per-view was Mike Jackson versus CM Punk, and you know, Mike Jackson's a joke, but I gotta give a lot of respect to my boy CM Punk, and I'll tell you why. You know, a lot of people were laughing at him, this and that, but listen, he did a couple things that really impressed me. Not as far as a UFC caliber fighter, because obviously that's not what he is, but as far as being a man. He got his head bounced off that canvas, and for someone that's not a fighter, he could have easily covered up, let the ref intervene, and just go home, take that $500K paycheck, and move on. Hey, you got to step inside an octagon, but you know what? My boy CM Punk went 15 minutes inside that octagon. He was clearly losing, and he was still trying. He even landed a couple takedowns against the reporter. So I got a lot of respect for CM Punk. That's a dude that, you know what I'm saying? He's got mad heart. So much respect to him, and Mike Jackson should be absolutely ashamed of himself for not getting him out of there.
Yeah, you know, I respect him as a man. You know, he did step in the cage. So, you know, shout out to CM Punk. But my thoughts on the whole situation is, like, I'm just tired of seeing that shit, like, on pay-per-views and, like, when there's other people out there that pay their dues and, you know, I understand they're selling pay-per-views. But
you mean like my boy Nikita Krylev's not in the UFC?
But, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, don't get me wrong, you know, I understand it's a business and all, but, like, it turns out that was probably one of the worst decisions. Dana even said, like, you should have put that on Fight Pass. Like, that shit shouldn't be on pay-per-views. Like, real fighters should be on pay-per-view.
Sergio and Joe B should have been on the pay-per-view instead.
Like, put that on Fight Pass. Like, let's kill that noise early, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want to see that shit at fucking midnight, you know what I'm saying? Like, fucking, it's just garbage. So, you know, props to CM Punk and Mike Jackson, you know, he'll go back to being a photographer or
whatever the
reporter,
fuck he is,
dentist,
you know? Go to the press room after that fight and ask some people some questions, you know what I'm saying? Huddle up amongst 5 men and see who can answer the question first, you know?
A nurse or a dental assistant, I don't know what he does, but, you know, otherwise, let's just move on from that.
His name really ain't the truth. Let's just put it that way. But, you know, it's funny. Guys with the name The Truth often end up being bust. You remember my boy Brandon The Truth Vera?
Don't talk about that.
Don't tell him I said that.
Don't talk about Brandon like that, bro.
So, Curtis Blaydes took care of Overeem. And, you know, they started off super patient. But, you know, I thought Curtis could have finished him earlier. But the thing is, Curtis, he's still green. He's still getting that experience. I felt that that was a very important lesson for him, because when he was teeing off on Overeem against the cage, I was like, a couple more shots, you get him out. And then he changes levels, puts him down, and then finally finishes him with those elbows. So that was great. And Overeem, he came in with a new, I know he was seeing a doctor up there in the Netherlands, because I don't know if you saw his physique, but he definitely wasn't looking as soft as he's been looking at some of his past ones. I know that he was back on that horse meat, and it still didn't matter. And Ngannou literally changed his life.
Yeah, I think Overeem's had enough, and, it's Blaydes' time now. And Blaydes, he's still green, and, he's still learning, but I think his wrestling is going to take him a long way in the division. And I think he's probably one fight away from the title. So, I know him, Volkov, Francis, and Black Beast are fighting. So, it's between those guys to see who gets the next title shot. I know my boy Volkov will be in Vegas when DC and Stipe fight. So, we'll see. We'll see where he goes.
Yeah, Curtis is definitely in the mix. And, if there's any up-and-coming heavyweight that needs a win, now Overeem's the gatekeeper. Now Overeem's the guy you feed him to. So
he's the Verdun now.
So, maybe when my boy Tai Tuivasa, give him one more win, then put him in there with Overeem. You know what I'm saying?
There we go.
So I like that. Now, this women's strawweight bout between Claudia Gadelha and Carla Esparza, I was getting a lot of shit because I said the line should be closer. Well, apparently I was right. The line should have been closer. Now I got to know, how'd you score that fight, by the way?
I understand, she had the top control, and 9 times out of 10 I always go that route. But, in this particular case, I thought Carla, almost finished her in that first round, with that chicken dance. I mean, her ankle wobbled, you know what I'm saying? And, she can say all this stuff, how her knee was fucked up going into the
You got rocked by Carla Esparza.
My girl Carla got hood in there, and then Carla won the 3rd round. I thought Claudia quit again, you know what I'm saying? She continuously quits and fights. It has nothing to do with Andrade being, this big gorilla that she was saying. You're just, when things get tough, you tend to fold. So, at least we got to see that. At least we got to solidify that. So now moving forward, we know that chick's just a quitter. And, I thought Carla won that fight. Carla landed the more vicious shots, in my opinion. I know Claudia's a little gorilla, a little stiff weasel, and she was able to, seal out some top control, but between them two, they know who won.
Let me ask you something. If the decision would have went the other way, would Claudia be moving to another gym again?
Yes, exactly. If she would have lost that fight, she was literally one judge away from switching camps to, ATT or something, you know what I'm saying? So she's very fortunate to be in the position she's in, and we'll see her when she comes back.
Yeah, I had the 1st and 3rd for Carla as well, because the first round comes down to, what do you favor more, a knockdown or top position? And 10 times out of 10, I always favor a knockdown over, laying on someone, because, what's doing damage? What's hurting someone? What's fighting? So, who cares if Claudia got on top at the end of the round? She got wobbled. She got dropped. I thought Carla definitely won that first round. 2nd round goes to Claudia. And 3rd round, I thought Carla edged it. So I had it 29-28 for Carla. It is what it is. I understand the majority of the fight, Claudia was on top, but the meaningful moments definitely went to Carla. So I do kind of feel bad for her getting the short end of the stick. But I feel like as far as, a moral victory, Carla's definitely got her head held up higher than Claudia does this morning. I'll tell you that right now, Shaq.
Yeah, I think Carla's going to be fine moving on, because she's going to be fighting like these up-and-comers and these chicks that I think she's still going to be able to beat, you know what I'm saying? As where Claudia, her days are numbered.
That's all I got to say. So,
we got girls like, my girl TT down there coming up.
They don't know who you're talking about.
My girl Tatiana, you know what I'm saying? Her coming up, we know Tatiana's probably a future world champion. So, Claudia's very fortunate.
Yeah, she's lucky to be in the position she's in. So, we already talked about our max bet winner on Mirsad Bektic going out there defeating Ricardo Lamas. And it was impressive because, one thing we talked about on the show with Chas Skelly was that Mirsad Bektic shoots all these unnecessary takedowns, and I felt like him moving to TriStar with Faraz and GSP, they were going to calm his game down a little bit. Now, this wasn't the finished product yet. People need to understand the kid's only 27 years old.
Still a kid.
But for the unfinished product to go out there, beat the number 5 guy on planet Earth, he's got so much potential. The ceiling is so high for a kid like Mirsad Bektic.
That was what Kamaru Usman would like to say, a 30% performance.
Yeah.
So, Mirsad is gonna look way better his next fight. Who should he fight next? He's just beat the number 7 guy in the world.
He said he wants to do Bronx next, actually. Right. Yeah, well, if you don't want that because of the line, let's see who else is ranked in the top 15 of that weight class. Well, he just beat number 7 Ricardo. We got Emmett, we got Swanson. I don't want Stevens for him. Look, what about my
Frankie? Frankie's got to win another fight, bro. Like,
you like Frankie? Respect it?
Frankie's got to win another fight, bro. And look, I'm gonna go ahead and say that I respect Frankie, but like, bro, you got knocked out by Ortega. You need like 2-3 wins to like. You got to start back down, bro. Like, you got to fight, the young up and coming kid. So Frankie and Mirsad, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I like it. I like Frankie versus Mirsad.
Frankie's got to put 2-3 wins in a row. He got knocked out by Ortega, just like Moicano is having to go back down and build himself up. You know what I'm saying? Now, I can't say that publicly I will anyway. We're about to butcher Cub Swanson live on pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have to win another fight after that. You know what I'm saying? Look at the fights Jeremy's had to win to get back to his spot. So Frankie's got to put 2-3 wins in a row together.
The thing with Frankie is, you know how the UFC works. They might give him the winner of Max and Ortega anyway. So if they do that, look, you said he wants Charles do Bronx. Charles is coming off a first-round sub. You know how quickly people forget things. And, people don't buy into a lot of our theories like that Charles Oliveira is a total quitter when things don't go his way. So maybe they will line it close if Oliveira and Bektic fight. And if they do, we will take full advantage.
Ricardo almost choked him out.
Yeah, exactly. He almost choked him out. Well, big deal. Between him, he didn't almost choke out shit, by the way. So, props to Bektic on that. I want to say a veteran performance, but the kid's 27, but he outvetted the vet.
Yeah, we outclassed him. Ricardo fought tough, but, it is what it is.
And another max bet winner at minus 175
max bet
odds.
season moves on.
So, Chris LaRocca defeated Rashad Coulter, and, me, you, Chas Skelly, we all picked Chris LaRocca to win this fight. We said Rashad Coulter will never win a UFC fight. Turns out we were right, man. And it was like I said, there's a reason they put this as the first fight on the televised prelims instead of,
I told you it was going to be a war.
Instead of some boring fight, because those two, they went out there, they had a sloppy heavyweight affair. It was super exciting, and Chris LaRocca simply wanted it more, and he outpositioned him, pounded him out. He almost didn't have the energy to pound him out, Shaq, but he finally did, and he got the stoppage over Rashad Coulter, who's now 0-3 inside the octagon.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's probably it for my boy Rashad, but like we said, I just felt like De La Roca was probably a little, willing to do more things to get the victory. I mean, we saw that in the Milstead fight. He actually wanted to win that fight, and, we felt like Coulter would just fade, and, that's exactly what happened. So, shout out to my boy Chris De La Roca. The best part about the fight was when my boy Coulter's cornerman said he's a big old Mexican, and you're not going to knock him out. So, you know what I'm saying? So, I guess, I don't think it's racist or anything.
No, you're right, because of the second part you just said. I don't think you're going to knock him out.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He's a big old man. Those Mexicans. Mexicans are like Hawaiians. They just don't. They don't get knocked out. They don't go down.
Man, Hawaiians got the best chins on planet Earth. Mahalo to all my Hawaiian brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they don't go down. So,
I know our Hawaiian clients are so happy with us, man. You should have seen some of the calls I got the other night. We're getting flown out to Honolulu pretty soon, right, Shaq?
I want to go see Waianae. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, my boy Shaq's trying to get down to Waianae. They don't know about Waianae. You know what I'm saying? Waianae's got a bad rep, but they got a fucking world champion over there. So my boy Max Holloway's showing that Waianae ain't all bad.
My boy Brad Lars is out there right now.
Man, I fuck with Hawaii hard. So shout out to all the Hawaiians out there. Aloha. So Anthony Smith took care of Rashad Evans. Now, man, I wish it was in max bet range quicker than an hour before the fight, because that would have been Hammer City. I mean, we watched both their entire careers. We were planning on max betting Anthony Smith. It was lined way too high. And then an hour before the fight, it came down. Should have jumped all over it. But like we said, Rashad has no business inside that cage. Anthony smoked him faster than I thought he would. I mean, I thought he was going to knock him out, but I didn't think he was going to do it in under a minute.
These things tend to get worse and worse, man. It's unfortunate, but Anthony did his thing. Did what? It's really not shocking because we said Rashad showing up for that 150K. So if Rashad wants to show back up, I'm all for it.
I'll say this: I'd rather get knocked the fuck out in 50 seconds for 150K than take a prolonged beating for 3 rounds for 150K. You know what I'm saying, Shaq? I think CM Punk might have taken more damage than my boy Rashad.
Rashad can come back.
Rashad, between you and me, Rashad's not going to retire, Shaq?
Yeah, I mean, look, people got problems out here, bro. There's plenty of people in my black men community that got baby mama drama. You know what I'm saying? Like, baby mama drama is a real thing, bro. And baby mama drama ain't cheap.
3 houses ain't cheap. 3 babies ain't cheap. That mortgage on that mansion ain't cheap, Shaq. So,
I mean, my boy Bobby Green has had to pull out a fight to do the baby mama drama. You know what I'm saying?
And you know that's bad because it's like, bro, just let him get to the fight so we can pay you, you know? But it is what it is. So that being said, man, I mean, who should my boy Rashad fight next?
Man.
Who's the worst guy at light heavyweight? I mean, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to give him Jarges Janho. Well, that's a heavyweight, right?
Yeah, that's a heavyweight. Don't let them know about Danho, bro. That's a secret.
Let's just put it this way. Next, and it was so funny seeing all that action come in on Rashad. Like, if you bet on Rashad, you need to take a look in the mirror and ask yourself what the fuck you're doing because yeah, I mean, that was absolutely embarrassing. I mean, the dude's getting outworked by Dan Kelly and Sam
if he wants
Allen.
to drop back to 85, a great fight would be Marcus Perez versus Rashad. You know
Fresh start.
If he wants to come back to
Let's give Rashad a fresh start at 185, Shaq. You know what I'm saying?
Let Maluka beat the former world champion real quick.
Yeah. Who you got between Rashad and James Boknovic? Rashad.
You know what I'm saying? But
all right, Rashad versus Marcus Maluka Perez at 185 pounds. Book it. So Sergio Pettis went out there and defeated Joseph Benavidez. And man, Sergio did what I wanted him to do against Cejudo, but this time he did it against Joseph Benavidez. I was like, bro.
That was the greatest performance I've ever seen out of him.
The improvements he made on his takedown defense and his get-up game, he stuffed like 12 or 13 takedowns. The one time he did get taken down, he got right back. I'm like, Serge, where was this guy during the Cejudo fight? Because, I mean, look, you know, Cejudo knocked out Hayes. He did this fucking karate stance. We thought he was going to try that bullshit against Serge. And he humped Serge's leg for 3 straight rounds. But then Joseph, when he realized that shit wasn't going his way on the feet, you know, he got dropped hard really
tried to go
once
to the
really bad. He went to the wrestling and it didn't work. So I was like, and this is a guy that beat Henry Cejudo. So I was like, man, couldn't you have already gotten to that level when you fought Cejudo? I guess not. But now they're starting to see the potential we saw in Sergio initially, Shaq.
Yeah, you know, my big worry was about the takedowns. That's why I picked Joe B, you know what I'm saying? Sergio has never gotten up from bottom, and that's just facts prior to this fight.
Yeah.
I mean, there was literally no facts to say, like, that he can consistently get up from the bottom. So shout out to everyone that bet that, man. He actually did get up from bottom. He actually did stuff the takedowns. He was struggling them off.
I mean, we said on the show, if he can keep this fight standing, he's going to win.
Yeah,
and he kept it standing and he won.
He's going to embarrass him out in space. But he actually did stuff the takedowns. And now Sergio is one fight away from the title. You know, I think this might possibly be setting a showdown with my other, 125-pound prospect after we take care of business in Calgary. But it is what it is.
Who's that? It's not Formiga, right?
You know what I'm saying? It's my boy Mateus Nicolau out of Rio de Janeiro. You know what I'm saying? And, it's going to set up a showdown down the line.
But if one of those aren't trying to take an L, you can always put him in there with Formiga.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Him and Formiga were supposed to fight like twice, so they could go ahead.
And if the UFC want to bring back Louis Smolka and put him in there with Sergio.
How about Pantoja? Pantoja just beat the shit out of Moreno. So
yeah, Pantoja versus Sergio, Formiga versus Sergio. Just let Mateus get that fast track to the title. You know what I'm saying? We don't want either of those guys taking an L anytime soon, so yeah. So Charles DuBronx beat Clay Guida in the first round via guillotine choke. And I mean, it's just like I said on the show. With Charles DuBronx, it's always the same. So for people that are saying he's back, this, back, that, you guys need to understand. Anytime Charles fights, it's always the same story. It's either sub or bust. This time it was sub. He won the fight. Clay Guida got choked out for the 10th time in his career. I mean, it was just like the Thiago Tavares fight. Dove in head first and got choked out with the guillotine.
The thing was, it looked like Charles was getting the better of the stand-up portion as well.
Hey, cut him.
And I thought Charles was in control from right away. So, it's unfortunate. I thought Guida was going to be able to, survive the submission game, but I guess not. Second Charles touched his neck, fight was over. Yeah, so for Charles Oliveira, I suggested the Mirsad Bektic fight. I mean, you want something else for him? Yeah, let's, how about, no.
What, Arnold Allen?
I was going to say Makwan. But,
what about Makwan? Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, Makwan versus Charles.
Makwan versus Charles. Yeah. They're going to scramble. Someone might get tapped out.
I like that shit. Let's see who the better man is.
And what about Clay Guida versus Jason Knight?
I was thinking Clay Guida versus Nick Lentz.
Okay, Clay Guida versus Lentz. Yeah, I like that. Two vets of the game. Oh, so is Makwan. But
But Charles said he was dropping.
Oh, he's dropping back. So 2 vets of the game, Lentz versus Guida. I like it. Now Dan Ige, he defeated Mike Santiago. I thought it was going to go 3. It didn't even go 1 minute, man. So you said, Shaq, Santiago's never going to win a UFC fight. Turns out you were right. He is never going to win a UFC fight, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, that was. I thought it was going to go a little longer than that. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was going to go 3 rounds, but
Dan Ige put the stamp on Mike Santiago.
But that first punch rocked him, took his back, smashed his head in. So unfortunately, Santiago goes back to the local scene, and Ige gets to continue being a manager.
Yeah, and Mike Santiago, look, man, if you're listening, we'd love to have you in the NFC. We got a lot of great featherweight prospects for you to fight.
We do.
Nathan Williams, Josh Blyden, Lawson McClure. We can come headline a card here in ATL versus one of those guys. And for Ige, take that next step up the ladder. Go fight Mads Burnell next. You know what I'm saying? Dan Ige versus Mads Burnell. I like it. So, man, that'll do it for UFC 225. It's now in the rear view. What an incredible card. Whittaker versus Romero with the Fight of the Year candidate. Mirsad Bektic with the max bet winner. Colby Covington making the UFC welterweight division great again. Best Fight Picks making your bankroll great again. So you guys want to get in touch with us, go to bestfightpicks.com, go to maxbetseason.com. Now is the time. Get that month VIP package because we're including the next 5 UFC events on it. That's Singapore, the Tough Finale, UFC 226, UFC Boise, which is going to be one of the biggest events in Best Fight Picks history, plus UFC Hamburg. Or if you want to go ahead and get a year, get that 1-year VIP package. Make sure you use the promo code 20OFF to save 20% off that 1-year VIP package. The 20OFF promo code only works for the 1-year VIP package. And if you guys missed it, I mean, dude, obviously Shaq and I
tell them how much they're getting a discount with that 1-year VIP real quick.
Like $200 off, man. I mean, come on, like that's.
But no, I'm just saying in total. Like if you were to pay month per month, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, you wanna do it like that? You wanna see what the real number is? Okay, so if you were paying month per month, you would how many events are there? About 45.
Just say 40.
Let's say 40. Let's give them a discount. Let's pretend there's less events than there really are. They'd be saving a couple grand.
And that's just facts. And, I mean, if you ask literally every single last one of my 1-year VIP members that paid either the 1,000 or the 800 or the 850 and tell me if they haven't made that money back. I'm talking about even making that money back from a couple weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, they've been made that money. Some of them made that money back 8 times in a row. So, and for the smaller guys, they're making that money back too because we're guiding them. We're letting them know how to do this. But look, Bo, Shaq, and I are way in profit for 2018, and obviously the last 4 events we've clean swept them. 5 max bet winners, 9-0 on max bets in 2018. Let's make your bankroll great again because like we said, man, anyone can game their record, but no one can game their bankroll. And that's what we're here to do, building bankrolls one bet at a time. So go to bestfightpicks.com, go to maxbetseason.com, and sign up today. Send us that email at bestfightpicks@gmail.com. Follow me at bestfightpicks. Follow Shaq at MMAGenius05. Follow our Instagram at bestfightpicksofficial. Subscribe to Half the Battle on iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Stitcher. Hook up those 5-star reviews on iTunes. And once again, to all our clients that are listening, let people know on Twitter and YouTube what we're doing for your bankrolls. So until the next time, let's cash these bets.